welcome to episode 44. I know, 44 of Nicole O's World Podcast. Welcome, welcome. I am your host, Nicole, also known as Nikki18229. Today is one of my favorite days. Holidays, well, not really holidays, but it is October the 31st, 2014, and it's 5:07 at night, also known as 1855, in case you go by military time. How is everybody? I hope good. If you are a new viewer checking me out for the first time, thank you so very much, and I hope you like what you see and hear, and I hope you come back for another week. And also, this is child-friendly if you have small children, in case you're wondering. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back another week. I want to say I'm sorry. I know that I missed last week, and last week was just so hectic. By the time I got to on Sunday to record a podcast, I'm like, Nicole, you're just going to record one on Friday, so just wait till this week. So I did. How is everybody? Good. I know, in case you noticed, I am in a different location, and that is for a work reason, and that is that. Normally I do record from my home, mostly from my dining room, but today we're in a new location. Nothing wrong with spicing things up. If you're wondering what knitwear I'm wearing, one, I just took it off because the colors didn't go. I will show you guys. If you are a returning viewer, you obviously remember this because I thoroughly griped about this yarn, about how hard it was to knit up. And yes, I am babbling on so that I can uncurl this. All right. This is my autism neck warmer. I do not like the C word. And the C word, if you are new, meaning cowl. It sounds like cow. I don't like it. My feeling is you don't go into a place like Macy's or Dillard's or someplace like that and go, do you have any cowls? Usually, do you have any neck warmers or scarves or something like that? But anyways, yeah, the lighting is not doing this justice. It really is bright. It is Red Heart Boutique Unforgettable in the Parrot colorway. I call this my AA 2014. I knit this up for the Penhook Needles podcast. Sorry, words just got away from my mind, went blank. Their 2014 Autism Awareness cow. I knit this up, and in case you knew, I will talk about this yarn. It's horrible to work with. If you're going to use it, I suggest mixing another yarn in with it, maybe a complementary yarn or another variegated that's similar to this. It washes up beautifully. I will say that, like, when you work with the yarn, it feels rough, and it feels like, after a while, it feels like it's felting in your hands, and it's not because it's 100% acrylic, but it feels like it's felting. Sorry, I needed a drink. And I don't know how it works up crocheting. I've never tried to crochet with it. But when you knit with it, you got to make sure you go in the stitch because it likes this. And you got to make sure the stitch is all the way wrapped around because it likes to split. It's a very splitty yarn. And it is not, if you have to rip back on a project using this, it's either going to snap and you're going to have to magic knot or fisherman's knot it and rip it out. Or if you go very, very carefully, you can rip it out slowly. All right, enough ranting about that. That's just my little thought. And as I said, this washes up beautifully. It is soft. It kind of likes to stick together. I did obviously kill the acrylic because I blocked it. This is almost 2 skeins of yarn, I want to say. I didn't use a full 2 skeins. I'll tell you guys what I used. And if you're wondering why I'm going back over this, just in case you are new and you like this and you're like, ooh, I want to know about it, I can tell you. I used, 1 skein, 279 yards, or also 255.1 meters if you go by the metric system. The pattern is called Monster Cowl by Julia Allen. It is a pay-for pattern, and I highly recommend it because it is fun. I have been wearing it. I'll show you guys. And I didn't think, I was on the fence about keeping it. I was going to gift it, but my Nana said to me, "Where's that long scarf you knit up?" I said, "What scarf? What long scarf?" She said, "That flashy, bright thing that you knit up because you love the colors." And I really do. That is the one thing I love about Red Heart Boutique Unforgettable Yarn, is the colors just transition very nicely. You don't have pooling. I don't know if you call this a striped yarn or a variegated, but I do love the color work on it. The way the transition changes, the color on it, I do love it. I just wish that maybe they change it to make it a lot more friendlier to work with. Keep the line, but just change maybe the way you process it. And I said, "You mean that cow?" She goes, "Yes, that cow." I'm like, "Okay." I said, "Let me go get the cow." And I come back with it. She's like, "That thing, that scarf." I said, "Oh." She goes, "It's fall. How come you haven't worn it? You like multicolors. You don't always like matchy-matchy." So I tried it on, and I happen to like it. I was on the fence because it is long, and I'm not a person of, I don't like things like around my neck. I love scarves and shawls, but it's like I was unsure about this, if it was very flattering, but I've been playing around with it. I've worn it like this. I've worn it like this, and I really like it. But mostly I've worn it to church, and I've worn it like this with a jacket, and it really, it fits nice. Or this past week I've been wearing it like this, and people are like, "I like that scarf." I'm like, "Thank you." So yeah. That's that. I do recommend the pattern. I love the Monster Cowl. I hate saying the C word, but I love the Monster Neck Warmer. And if you're wondering what this purple thing is I'm wearing, it is my Mr. Green jeans. And I don't remember, I want to say Amy Swanson is the creator of Mr. Green jeans. Yes, Amy Swenson, Swenson. It is a free pattern on Rav, and it is, you click on the link and it'll take you to Knitty for the pattern. But this is Mr. Green jeans. I have really this past year gotten my, like, I don't want to say, well, money's worth out of the yarn, but that's what it looks like on the side and the arms. I have gotten my money's worth out of the yarn. The pattern is definitely, sorry if your motion sick type person with this, but I have got my money's worth out of the pattern. This is definitely something that I plan to knit again because I like it so much. And my gram actually wants one made out of this pattern. When I make it again, another one for myself, the cabling down here, I'm actually going to do the full length that they say, because for some reason, like, the back rides up, and it could be the yarn and the way I picked up for the button band back here. But that's, like, no big deal, because usually I just take it because it rides up and I pull it down and it's fine. The yarn is, if you're wondering, it is Lion Brand's Venice Choice in the purple print colorway. They do still make this, and some people have said that Venice Choice, because it's acrylic, feels very plasticky and rough. Oh, and a side note, I'd actually make the sleeves a tad bit longer. I don't have long arms, or I don't have long orangutan arms. I have short little stubs, as you can see. And I followed the pattern, and I'm like, because it's a raglan top, and I'm like, the sleeves look long enough. I have short arms. Maybe I should just stop. And I should listen to my Nana. She's like, you need to keep going with it, because that's kind of short. So the sleeves are kind of short, so my next sweater, they're going to be longer. But it's my actual first sweater with long sleeves. My other sweater was short sleeves. So you learn by trial and error. And I always seem to make the sleeves too big. I don't know how big I think my arms are. Anyways, that's my knitwear when I'm wearing almost 12 minutes into this. Excuse me, I'm dry today. I'll get into that then. But yeah, this is probably going to be a chatty episode, FYI. Alright, let's get in. Oh, before we get into Minestrati, Talia, I know you have pen, hook, and needles. They have a thread going, what's in your mug or your cup. Well, sorry, because of the time of night, I don't have a cup of tea with me. I don't have one yet. I'm probably going to make one later in the evening, like a decaf sleepy time tea. But I had pizza for supper. I have a piece of pepperoni pizza for supper, and I'm so dry and thirsty now from it. And I'm drinking a Diet Coke. I'm not no way advertising it, but that's what I'm drinking. I don't got anything in a mug or a cup, but I'm drinking a Diet Coke. It's just, I don't know. I'm thirsty. I don't know if it's a lap band thing with it, that ever since I had that surgery done 4 years ago, if I eat a piece of pizza, I get thirsty. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe because I'm not used to the salt and I don't know. But anyways, so if I keep drinking, I'm sorry. Now, Administrati. Let's get to the meat and potatoes, kiddos. Happy birthday to anybody that has had or has a birthday in October. If your birthday's on Halloween, lucky you. Happy birthday. You got an awesome birthday. And also, if you're watching this in the first week of the first 2-3 days in November, happy early birthday, and I hope you have a great day. If your birthday is October the 2nd on, forgive my pronunciation, Delo de los Muertos, you're awesome. That's also known as Day of the Dead or All Souls Day. That's like one of my favorite days as well. I don't know why. I've always loved it. I just thought it was cool. I guess maybe because I grew up in the South. I grew up like in Texas, and it was like a celebrated thing, and All Souls Day in the church. So I just think that day is awesome. Next to Halloween and Christmas. And a couple other days. Sorry, I feel like I hear something running. Anyways, we have a cow going on. Yay! It's our holiday gift cow. And we've had quite a few entries in it. I'm so excited to see people are putting items into it. And I will read all the good information about it. It's our gift holiday cow. It started on October the 19th, and it will end on January the 8th, 2015. I made sure I covered if you celebrate any of the holidays, winter solstice, whatever, Christmas, any of the holidays, whatever your holiday is, or even if you don't celebrate holidays, it gives you plenty of time to get things in the thread. Excuse me, I'm sorry. The rules are simple. Excuse me, I'm sorry if I had earbuds in. The rules are simple. It has to be knit or crochet. It has to either be a gift you're going to give to someone, or is given to you or to charity. In the holiday spirit, it can be a gift to yourself, also known as selfish knitting. You can also enter toys. Those count as gifts if you're in the Penhook Needles or Bakery Bears toy along. Those count as gifts. If somebody gave you a knit or crochet item, you may enter it in this cow, because I'm going with the holidays. It was a gift. It was given to you, or you're gifting it to someone. Put it in. This is the holiday time. The gifts, let's show them off. Even if you didn't make it, that somebody else made it for you, I'm allowing it in this cow. So put it in. It can be, in my rules it said it can be something it can also be something you're making for the holiday season. Example, even if it's for your home, work, community, so on and so forth. So even if you're making an accessory or some sort of knit crochet item for your home, you can stick it in there. It doesn't have to be just the garments. It can be anything. Sell it to me. Any knit crochet item that was made or given to you, just as long as it's holiday or something you made for yourself. Because sometimes people buy us things like patterns, or they're like, oh, you had an eye on this pattern. Well, here's the gift card to go get the yarn. Or, I know you had that eye on that yarn because you wanted to make something with it, so here's the yarn, and you knit it up. It's, I don't count, some people count it as selfish, I don't, because us as knitters, sometimes people don't know what to give us. They may give us the money to get what we want, and then we make it up. So you made it for yourself, you can stick it in there as well. All right. Chatter is welcome in the thread that's already open. You can dip into other groups as long as it's okay with their rules. As for works in progress, 1 photo per week of all your works in progress. So in other words, say all your works in progress that you're working on this. If you're taking a picture, say you got 4 works in progress for that week. You can post all 4 works in progress during that week if you want. I don't care. You can put them all in. You can put them all in as 4 separate threads for all the photos, all the works in progress that you have done. And of course, post your finished objects in the thread. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. And we've had some amazing things, mitts, hats, socks, and I really love the socks that are in there. I think they're so darn cute. As far as prizes go, that has yet to be determined. I have been going through my own stash, and there are some kits that I may be giving away as prizes. I'm not 100% certain yet. I want to read all the information before I decide if I'm going to put them in or not. But so prizes are to be announced as to whether I'm going to give prizes away, because I have some kits in my stash that I'm going through. I'm like, am I going to use this yarn? Am I going to use the pattern with the yarn? And I plan to do that this weekend, but I can't do it because I have a work thing. So I will let you guys know next week when I podcast. All right, we also have a thread open in our RAV group called Ask Nicole Anything, anything you'd like to know about the podcast, anything you'd like to know about me, or, anything in general. I also have a thread open called Reclaim That Yarn. Say that you have a project that you made and you no longer wear the project, you no longer get use out of the project, or you just don't like the way it came out. Just rip it out and reclaim that yarn, because I did. You guys know if you're new, I've been trying to make the ice cardigan by Carol Feller, and I was using Lion Brand Homespun, which after many rip-outs of it, I've decided I don't like it. And I wanted to make it, and I'm like, what am I going to use? I need a sweater's worth of yarn. What am I going to use? And I was going through my summer spring clothes, putting them away for fall, and I came across my swing away tank top I made over the summer. And I was looking at it, and I remembered why I only ever wore it twice. Number one, it was heavy. And it was hot. I'm sorry, guys. It was hot. And I'm like, and I compared the Red Heart Super Saver to the Red Heart Soft, and there wasn't too much of a difference to it except for skein size. And I'm like, so I used the sweater's worth I had to make that tank top, and I'm like, I don't like the way this tank top came out. I loved the pattern, and I loved the help I got for, like, the alterations I had to do. But I'm like, this needs a lighter yarn. So I reclaimed that yarn, and that yarn is now going to be my ice cardigan. So that inspired me to open a thread, Reclaim That Yarn. Show me what you reclaimed and you're going to make out of it. I just thought it would be something fun. All right, I have a little asterisk by this, and I guess I better go over it real quick and tell you. Talia, you and Marlisha were talking when you guys were talking about our toys that we made up, our Selena the cat, and I believe it was Marlisha. You told Talia that the Red Heart yarn is, when you were making the toys, seemed like the yarn seems like it stretches, and that it uses a lot more stuffing when you go to stuff the project with fiberfill. And you're absolutely right, because when I made my Selena the cat and Barry the cardinal, I followed everything right, and I'm like, this seems stretchy. And I'm like, okay. And I just kept, with Selena, it's like I just kept stuffing the body and stuffing it and stuffing it. Even the head, I just kept stuffing it and stuffing it and stuffing it. And finally my grandma's like, you can see the fiberfill in that cat, in the head. It's sticky. Like, you can see right through the fiberfill here on the side, and that you're giving that cat one giant head. Now its eyes are crooked. Somehow, when I was stuffing the cat, I also shifted the eyes so they're like kind of crooked. But that's not. It kind of looks like she's looking at somebody like, I see you. And when I was stuffing the body, it was like a never ending. It was like never ending. It just kept going and going and stretching and stretching and stretching. Till finally I was like, that's it. I'm like, this yarn is eating too much fiberfill. Even with the legs is like stuffing it. I'm like, that's it. No more fiberfill. She's right that it stretches and it does use more fiberfill when you're making toys. So anybody, if you're using Red Heart yarn to make any stuffy toys that use fiberfill, the yarn's going to stretch and it's going to become a yarn pig. It's just going to use the fiberfill. So use your judgment when you feel like it's filled enough. So that's that. Let's get on to finished objects. Hey! I have one, but I didn't bring it with me. I didn't bring it with me because of travel purposes. It's one less thing that I had to lug along. But I will show you a picture of it. And I will be honest, it does look like yarn barf because I have not washed it and I have not blocked it. If you follow me on Instagram, you have already seen this. I have posted it. It is the afternoon tea shawl. And let me get my good information up here. Go back. Go back. Go back. Take me back to my projects. Afternoon Tea Shawl by Helen Stewart. It is a free rav pattern. This is what mine looks like. I use yarn by the Wonderful Mustache Shop, put out by Stacy from the Wonderful Mustache Podcast. It is the Ritz Space. I thought it was too pretty to make socks out of. But here's what it looks like. It has not been washed or blocked, nor have the ends been woven in yet. I have learned to weave the ends in once the project is washed and blocked, but that's what it looks like. I know it kind of looks like yarn barf, but you can kind of get a good idea of what it looks like. And it's 436 yards, and this is how much yarn I have left in the needles. I did recake it at yarn. I didn't take a picture of it. On the project page, it says that it uses 300, I know it's 300 and some stitches it says that yardage it uses. I'm sorry, yardage. Let's see. It says like 300 and like 360 for yardage is what it says on the pattern. I'm sorry, like I just completely drew a blank. Yeah, so that's my only finished object that I have for this week. I really truly loved knitting it up. It was a wonderful to knit. I really loved knitting it. I just took my time knitting it. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, except for the end. Hang on here. It says, I know what it says about yardage. Now wait. Or maybe I thought it said about yardage. Oh, I guess it doesn't say how much yardage it takes. It's 40 inches across. After blocking, 18 inches in the middle of the top edges to the bottom after blocking. Yeah, I thought it would have said how much yardage it is. I guess it does not. Huh. I'm wrong because I'm looking on the pattern. No, it doesn't. Okay, my mistake. I'm sorry, y'all. I thought it said how much total yardage it uses, but it does not. I will have to do a calculation and weigh my skein and subtract how much it is from the total, and I'll be able to tell you guys. But that's my only finished object. The only thing I did not like about the object is the the peacoat bind off. I hated it. I did not like it. That's the only thing about the project I thoroughly did not like. Not this girl. I don't like peacoat bind off. I don't even like doing a peacoat for crochet. Like sometimes even at the end of if you crochet, like it'll have an edging, and one of the edgings is a peacoat edging. I hate doing it for crochet too. If it has that, I avoid it and do something else because I do not like it. It's just one of those bind-offs and finishings. I just don't like it. I don't know why. I cannot stand it. Would I make the afternoon tea shawl again? Absolutely, except I will not do a peacoat bind-off. I will do some sort of other bind-off. I will find something else that goes with it or looks nice, some sort of other bind-off, not a peacoat. All right. That is finished objects, works in progress. I have a work in progress. Did I bring it with me? No, but I will tell you guys about it. It is a new work in progress. I don't even know if I created a project page for it yet. I thought I did. Maybe I didn't. Yes, it's a crochet project, and Marlisha has crocheted this several times, and I thought the pattern was absolutely beautiful, and I've had it in my queue for a while, and I really needed a palette cleanser after the shawl. I'm like, I don't want to knit any sock weight stuff. I don't want to pick up my hitchhiker because that's sock weight yarn. I don't feel like casting on my sock. I need a palette cleanser. Because after that peacoat bind off, I'm like, I just need a palette cleanser. So I was watching the Pinhook Needles podcast, and I see Marlisha working on a shawl that she's doing inspired by one of her teachers, and I'm sorry, I cannot remember the name of it. You said it, I am sorry. But the scarf popped in my mind. The Surreybella, Surreybelle scarf. It's by Sarah Sweetheart. It's a free wrap pattern, and I absolutely love it. I have the pattern now memorized in my head after reading it a few times. So here's where I started. Here's what it looks like up close in case you're curious. No, this isn't white. It is blue. This is how far I've gotten on it since starting it last night while watching television. And working on it today a little bit. You may actually remember this blue. This blue is the blue that I used to knit my friendship sweater. I want to call it my Aloha, but it's not. It's by Mel Ski, or M Ski Knits. It's her Hawaiian for Friendship sweater. And this is the blue that I used to make it. This is what's left of a 1-pounder Caron Simply Soft yarn. It's 1 pounder in light blue. I am going to make the scarf out of it. And then what's left is going to be put towards a blanket I'm going to start. So this is just a fun little potato chippy when I watch TV. No hurry to get it done. And if you're wondering what size hook I'm using, it is a size H as in happy, 8 crochet hook, also known as a 5mm. I'm not too familiar when they list them alphabetically, like H or 8, US 8. I'm like, what's size US 8? If you say 5mm, I know exactly what you're talking about. I learned my needle sizes and my hook sizes by millimeters. I don't know why. I just know them easier that way versus US sizes. When you give me US size, I'm like, huh? I'm like, say that in English? And they'll say, like, size 5mm knitting. And I'm like, oh, okay, I know exactly what you're talking about. So here's what I'm using. This, I want to say, is by Boy or Susan Bates. It has the bamboo at the end. I really like these. I have it's much better time to crochet with something that's a little thicker at the bottom versus just a plain crochet hook. I don't know why I like them better anymore than just a plain. If I use my plain crochet hooks, I rubber band each end and stick a pencil gripper in the middle to add for the thickness. Like, my hands don't hurt as bad. I don't know why. But for all the years I've been crocheting, I was always like, oh, these hooks are so small, my hands hurt. Like, what's up? So that's that. I have my Hitchhiker in here by Martina Bem. It is a paid-for pattern on Rav. Just search in Hitchhiker, Hitchhiker, by Martina Bem. It is a popular pattern on Rav. It is a paid-for pattern. And no, I am not going to tell you how much it is because it was a wonderful birthday gift to me. So, FYI, so you guys know, if you gift me a pattern, I never say how much it costs on the podcast. If I show you a picture of it, I will have the price whited out. I don't say how much it costs because I don't think that it's fair to be saying, hey, this person spent this amount of money on a pattern for me, or no, this person spent that amount of money on a pattern. I feel it's none of your business how much it costs because it's a gift. I know we're all, if you're on Rav, we all know how much things cost, but, I don't like to say if it's a gift. I feel it's not fair, and it's not right. And I never say anybody's name who gifted me a pattern unless they tell me it's okay to. So this is the pattern. It's in black and white because, well, I'm cheap. I'm saving on colored ink. I am keeping it in my I Love Cupcakes bag and my cherry pencil case, my Notions case. I got this pencil case makeup bag at, I want to say the dollar store or AC Moore. I got it and I thought it made a cute Notions case. Here it's at the same place when I left off because I didn't work on it since last week. So here's what it's looking like. This is Red Heart, Heart and Soul with aloe vera, and the colorway is called Green Ivy, but I don't see how this is Green Ivy. This reminds me nothing of Green Ivy. To me, Green Ivy would be an assortment of different greens, like different color, like the green spectrum. Anything in the green colorway would be poison ivy with maybe like a little white thrown into it. Definitely not this. This doesn't remind me of poison ivy or green ivy. This reminds me of the garden. I think I'm going to call this English Garden. I don't know why. It just reminds me. I've never seen an English garden. So if I'm completely wrong on how it looks, I'm sorry. You can correct me, but I'm going to rename this colorway while I'm working on this English Garden. It is called Green Ivy, but I am calling it English Garden. And I am using my Knit Picks interchangeable nickel-plated needles, and they are 3.5 millimeters. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the pattern. It is a fun little pattern. I do have to look at the repeat chart because for some reason my mind just can't get the pattern down. It's an easy potato chip knitting pattern, but I just can't get it down. I don't know why. I did not cast on my second sock for my Bootacular socks yet because I wanted to finish my afternoon T-shot. I wanted to get that off the needles because it's been setting on there for ages. I think since April? Is it April it's been setting on my needles? I don't have a start date for it, but it's been setting on my needles for a few months, and I wanted to get it off because I thought, I thought to myself, Nicole, as much as you're enjoying the knit, it's time to get her off the needle so you can start another project. So that's that. Future works in progress, as I said. I want to work on my Ice Cardigan by Carol Feller. I am going to be using Red Heart Super Saver yarn in the turquoise colorway. Here's one caked up. I don't have to worry about a sweater's worth because I have a sweater's worth, and I have like 4 other skeins at home in this exact same colorway. In case you have not caught on, I said I have 2, 3, 4 other skeins at home in this colorway. This is one of my favorite colors by Red Heart. I really love the turquoise colorway and the gray heather colorway. Those two are like my favorite colors by Red Heart. And then you heard me right when I said I want to start a blanket. Well, I want to start 2 blankets. One is, and thanks to Penhook Needles Gals and the Bakery Bears, thank you to Dan and Kay, I want to do a log cabin. First, I want to crochet a log cabin blanket. I chose the Log Cabin Afghan by Lion Brand. I am not going to be using the homespun yarn they call for. What I'm going to be doing is I have bits, as Kate from the Bakery Bears would say. Kay, I'm sorry, not Kate, Kay, what am I thinking? Oh, sorry, Kay. As she would call gobbets of yarn, bits and bobs of yarn at home, acrylic yarn. Like it's not enough to make a project with, a new project, but yet it's not enough to make a toy. It's not enough to make a whole project with. It's just there, and I'm like, what am I gonna do with these? So when everybody keeps talking about log cabin blankets, I'm like, it was like, oh, bingo, genius. I'm going to crochet one. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I did not mean to burp. I am so sorry. It just happened. And the other one I am going to knit. I'm going to knit a blanket, and I'm going to base I'm going to base it off the Modern Log Cabin Blanket by the Mason-Dixon knitting book. It is a free pattern on Rav, and I'm kind of going to base it on the adult version. I am not going, it's just going to be like my little base as to how to get her going, and I'm just going to go from there. Both of these, though, will be made out of acrylic due to the fact I have a large stash of acrylic. So that is that. It is time how very cute. It's time to move into goodies. And you're probably wondering, what are goodies, Nicole? Well, I am pro-loining from the Geeky Girls podcast. They have yummies. I have goodies. And goodies are stash enhancements or gifts. One is last week I went junking or antiquing or yard selling, whatever you'd like to call it, and I found a cute teacup and a cute incense burner. I obviously don't have the cup with me. I will show you guys in the next podcast. I am a huge teacup collector. I love teacups. Some I buy that I know would be for collecting, and some I buy because I can drink out of them. I'm also a mug collector. I love mugs too. Coffee, tea mugs, those things. Alright, that can be for chatter. Next, goodies. I kind of went shopping, y'all. I kind of went shopping. It feels like I bought a whole lot, and I really didn't, actually. The one thing I got, and I test websites on usertesting.com where they pay you to test websites, and I have a rating where I became a mobile tester, so I got a little video camera to test so they can see me testing apps. So I got that in the mail, didn't bring it for travel purposes because that's one less thing to carry. The next thing I bought, my sweater calls for US 11 or 8 mil circular knitting needles. Well, I could not get gauge for the life of me on the 8 mils, even on the homespun yarn and the Red Heart yarn. I could not get gauge. So I went down to my China needles from eBay. I went down to 6.5, and it was close, but I didn't feel comfortable, so I was like, I need to go down to a 6. Because I tried 5s, but 5s were too small, so I went up to a US 10, which is 6 mil. And I didn't like my China needles. They weren't sharp enough. That's my only downside to them. They're not sharp enough to pick up certain stitches and do like not yarn overs, but 2 together and whatnot, all that whole good stuff. They're not sharp enough for that. They're nice for just straight knitting. But I decided, I was like, let me order some needles. So I was like, do I want to go through knit picks? And I was like, I don't feel for the wood needles. I didn't care for the nickel plated ones are nice, but I was like, not for what I need it for picking up stitches. I'm like, no, I don't feel like ordering the interchangeables. I'd like to have a set of thick circulars. So I remember hearing on a lot of podcasts people talking about Haya needles. I'm like, So I typed in Bing, I go, Haya needles. And I brought the website up, and I was like, Haya sharps. And I clicked on them, and it said, find retailer. So I bought them online. I got US 10, 6 mil, 40-inch Haya sharp needles. I've kept them in the case to show you guys. I will say Haya has wonderful shipping. The website connected me to a dealer in Langhorne, Pennsylvania called Yarn Bazaar. It's yarnbazaar.com. Wonderful, excellent shipping. Now, I understood it took time from when I paid for it online and to ship. These came last week? Yeah, last week. They came last week. I ordered them, I believe, that same week. Yeah, I ordered them. It came within the same week. I didn't think that they would get here. No. They came this week. Because I ordered them sometime last week. I wasn't expecting these guys, till November. I didn't expect them till November sometime. Really great, fast, quick shipping. It only took a few days for them to get here. It took like a day or two for the thing to clear, which, I think it went through PayPal. It took like a day or two for it to clear. Excellent shipping, quick, fast delivery. It tells me about a pattern that I can get online for socks. And they gave me a little gift of I believe it's a stitch holder. So that really enthused me. And I also bought something else with them. I bought a Hiya needle gauge. I bought this little guy because you can never have too many needle gauges. I like that. And if you're like a new knitter and you've seen one of these but you do not know how to use them, I'd be more than happy to do a little quick video on it. But shipping for these two items with shipping came to $23 because shipping was like $6 and some cents. The two items together were not that expensive, but when you added the $6 and some cents for shipping, it came to $23. But I couldn't complain because I could not drive down to Langhorne. I could not fill my car up for $6.50 and then drive down to Langhorne, Pennsylvania. Not this girl, because it would take more to fill my car up to drive down there than it would to buy these online. These were $10 and some cents, I will say that. So some people would say this is expensive. Not too bad, because I know some knitting needles go for more than $10. And this was like $6 and some cents. But of course it was probably that much because I paid for the name Hiya. But I always like to carry a needle gauge with me. I always like to have, I have one needle gauge, two. I have two needle gauges, and this is my third. I'm OCD about it. I like to have extra needle gauges. So these two added together like 10 something and 6 something, and then the $6 and some cents for shipping came to $23. I didn't think that was bad, considering some places would have been a lot more. Alright, I have two other things. One has not come in yet. But the other thing is, in case I fell down a rabbit hole, I've had my eye for quite a while on Jimmy Bean's wool on their yarns, but I was always on the fence about trying these yarns because I'm like, the price is OMG. Don't get me wrong, I like nice yarn, and I understand why certain yarns cost more, but because I've never used them, I'm like, do I really want to spend $22 on something and then I don't like it? It's one of those things, I like to try something, some of the local yarn shops, like where I go, in my town, caters most of the tourists, and it's the real high-end stuff, and it's, like, expensive, like 13, 14, 15, 20 some, and it's, like, not what I got here. She doesn't carry that, so it's like, So I decided, I looked on Jimmy Bean's wool, and I always hear everybody talking about Madeline Tosh or Tosh yarn, and I'm like podcast, people talk about how great this yarn is. I'm like, I looked at the price of $20-some a skein. I'm like, that better be some like rockin' yarn for that price. I better get my money's worth for that price. I'm like, don't get me wrong, it's like for the price, I want to make sure that it's like, I'm going to like it. So I was like, and I was like, what are gift ideas? And I seen something on Facebook, and I was like, I clicked on it, and I was like, and then you don't pay attention, like I looked at something, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, nice gift idea, and I clicked off it, and I went back, and I was like, what are gift ideas? And I looked at, this thing came up for Madeline Tosh yarn, and it was a little kit, and I'm like, I'm like, $29.95, that sucker better come with something amazing, instead of these little itty, what does it come with? And I was like, Nicole, read it. So I read it, and I ordered it. I got my little box in the mail. Oh, my God. Amazing quick shipping with Jimmy Bean's wool. Like, it came from Nevada. I chose standard shipping, and standard shipping, I figured, this sucker would not be here until the first week of November. I ordered it, and within the same day, it said my order shipped. That was like, I got it yesterday in the mail on Thursday. It had to have been, the 24th, I ordered it, and within 3 days, I had it already. I'm like, wow, that was some quick postal service. But I got Jimmy Bean's Wool, limited edition, Tosh Tea Cakes, Mojito Mint Green. And if you're familiar, it comes in this little pastry box. How cute is that? Let me open it and show you guys. You have choices like red velvet, rubus, Earl Grey, lemon ginger, berry black currant, and chai spice. It's a gift idea. It's a limited edition, and it's like a tea thing. Hints if you haven't caught on to the names. Like red velvet robust, Earl Grey, Mojito Mint Green, lemon ginger, blackberry currant, chai spice. Those are all names of teas. I chose the Mojito Mint Green tea because I've had I love chai, but I was like, let me try something different. So here's what the inside looks like. And in the box, it comes with a Biscoff, European's favorite cookie with coffee, a little biscuit, which I thought was cute, a little packet of Mojito Mint Green Tea. I didn't try it yet, you guys, to tell you how it is, because I wanted to show you. I am going to have this tomorrow morning. I'm going to try that maybe in the afternoon. I don't know if I'd want to have it for breakfast, but I'm going to try it. And it also, I'm not going to show it up close. It came with the link for the pattern. I chose the fingerless gloves little cake thing to try. And this was the thing for me to get the pattern. It is a paid-for pattern, but because I bought the little kit, it was included. You guys, I haven't knitted up. I've just pet the yarn, the little cakes. I've just pet them and smelled them. OMG, you guys. Now I know why everybody keeps saying, Tosh yarn, get Madeline Tosh. I got Matt Tosh yarn. Oh! Like, you guys, just from feeling it, I can see why you got it. If you're new, it is Superwash Merino. This is Superwash Merino. I believe this is the DK version. And I think it smells good. But this is one of the colorways. They are so cute the way it came packaged. I don't know, I've never really done color work. I've never done color work in knitting. And the pattern, if you're wondering what the pattern is, it is you can buy it on Rav. It is by Rachel Rodden, R-O-D-E-N. It's called Modicum Mitts, M-O-D-I-C-U-M Mitts. They are to buy them. The pattern is $5.50, and I'm telling you that because I bought it myself. So I bought the whole kit, but I know what the pattern costs because I downloaded it today. But it is a cute pattern. I've never done color work before in knitting, so I don't know if I'm gonna attempt the color work with the Tosh yarn because it's my precious. I don't know. I'm afraid to ruin it. So I may just do a striped fingerless knit thing. Or I may stash this yarn and find something else to use for it. But I'm thinking I'll make fingerless mitts. Maybe there's enough in here to make a neck warmer. We'll see. But I think I may make these fingerless mitts. It has me sold on buying a few skeins of this. Alright, that is that. We're like 60 minutes into this. I told you guys it was going to be quite chatty. So if you're going to leave me now, alright, my camera cut me off because it said I reached the max amount of time. I warned you guys it was going to be long. If you're leaving me now, have a wonderful, great weekend, and I will see you next week. If you've stuck with me this long, I'm going to talk quick about girly chatter, or just life, what's going on. I told you I went junking last weekend, yard selling, antiquing, and I found the cute little teacup, vintage teacup, and antique incense burner. This week, last night, I went to, what do you call it, like a book reading over at our local library. The book is called Divine Philly, and it kind of talks about basically, not preaching religion here. It talks about the Catholic religion and the role the Irish played in it. It talks about the Molly Maguires and the miners, how they were wronged and all, and basically the whole good thing about Father Newman, the saint. It talks about all that. If you're not a religious person, that won't be the book for you, but I do plan on buying the book. It's called Divine Philly. If you're interested in it, shoot me a message, and I'll give you all the details on it. So I did that yesterday. I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed that. It was great to hear somebody's perspective on it, and I do plan on reading it. And Talia, what is the name of that movie about that saint? I believe it's a saint you were talking about. I know it was a priest, and he ended up dying. What is the name of that? Because I really would like to see that. This weekend, not doing anything this weekend. I am doing a work thing this weekend. I am away. So I'm not doing anything in particular. I'm doing a work thing this weekend, as well as just taking my running into town to take my Nana to the grocery store. So it's mostly I'm doing a work thing. Nothing spectacular. I do hope that my other package comes in the mail tomorrow. I've tried to track it on shipping. I ordered something from Mary Maxim magazine, or their website, and I've tried to track the shipping to see where it's at, but it's like they can't find it. It says on the site the package shipped, so I don't know. If it don't come by the end of next week, if it doesn't come by the first week of November, I will be on the phone to them saying, where's my package? So I'm going to let you guys go so I can edit this and hopefully make it shorter. Other than that, have a great, wonderful, safe weekend. Remember, treat others the way you would want to be treated. Bye, guys. Oh, if you're up here along the East Coast, also if you haven't seen the news lately, they did catch that guy that shot a Pennsylvania state trooper. He is in custody in jail where he belongs. And also, if you're up here in the East Coast this weekend, stay warm and make sure your pets are brought in. If you're in an area where it's going to be getting cold, like up here in the East Coast, please bring your pets in. Don't let them outside. It's too cold. You won't want to be out. They don't want to be out. It's cold. And stay warm, you guys. If you know somebody that's in need, that they're cold, or they're elderly and they can't turn the heat up, or they don't have anything to keep them warm, be generous and give them something to keep them warm. Send food, send a knitted item, Karma goes a long way. You do good, you get good. So until next week, bye, guys.